sky's not blue.
Welcome back to the Cult House Podcast. I am your host, the Scholar of Spite and the Saturday Night Delight, Roger Riddell. Joining me today, he is the guitarist for Pittsburgh deathcore heavyweight Signs of the Swarm, Carl Schulz. How are you doing today, Carl?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Roger. Just another beautiful day out in Philadelphia, man. Weather's been super, super cool lately, so I can't complain, man. How are you today? What's up?
Pretty good. I've been listening to the new Signs of the Swarm album to rid myself of truth, to the promo copy of it that I've got, and I've got to say, beyond the fact that it passes the gym test, it also, as much as Amongst the Low and Empty felt more focused than maybe like any other deathcore album that I've ever heard. To rid myself of truth just sounds more pissed off. The breakdowns are like, they're on point the way that deathcore always is. But I think the thing that you all pull off really well on that album too is there's this thick groove like throughout.
Yeah, there's something about this record compared to Amongst that's, I would say, a little bit more tamed, not as crazy. I feel like on Amongst we tried to do a couple more things here and there, and this record we just were like, you know what? We need to go back to more of the older Signs roots and more of just like the authentic deathcore and just as heavy as we could get with still sprinkling some little things that we're trying to do that's different, just like Amongst a little bit. So it's one of them things, man, where I don't know, we wanted to just stay true to ourselves and just bring as heavy as songs as we could, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it takes both the best parts of just like, classic deathcore and that matured sound from Amongst and just kind of melds them perfectly. And it just feels like way more, it's like a more focused intensity.
Yeah, we tried to really, really hone in on that with this one. Like we kind of just picked like all the things of Amongst that we loved and hated and tried to do the opposite of those things per song. Just like certain things that we wanted to bring more to light and other things that we thought we did too much of on Amongst. And we kind of dialed back a little bit and thought about the older fans and thought about people that started listening us from the beginning. So we just tried to make sure we checked off all the boxes with all the things that we like doing as a band.
Yeah, and like this is the first album since you like basically joined the band as a full member, right?
Yeah, so I came in the last pretty much 2 weeks of recording Amongst the Low and Empty. We had to go back. So the record was done. Century Media wanted us to go back and do two more songs. So I joined right when we went back to record Malady and Faces Without Names. And yeah, at that point, those two songs were written by Bobby, and they were just like, yo, what kind of spice can you add on some of these other songs? So I went and did the Dream Killer solo, did some clean vocals on that song, and just a crap ton of background vocals throughout the rest of the album. But yeah, this record is the first all four of us collabed on this one. So it's my first full record with the bands. It was a very awesome process to do and kind of just all be in a room for, I believe it was like 6 weeks we were away with Josh Schrader in Midland, Michigan. And yeah, man, we kind of just all brought forth some stuff and all of our different levels of what we excel at, and we just gave it hell on this one, man. So yeah, I'm very happy that this is the first record I get to be a part of in full.
Yeah. And from what I understand, you started out as a guitarist, but you had played bass for a while when you were in like Great American Ghost, and then you switched back to guitar
Yep.
when you joined Signs of the Swarm. What has your experience been just like from a multi-instrumentalist standpoint, like that, as far as like switching back and forth between the instruments?
You know what, man? It was one of those things where, I dropped out of high school and I've been doing this shit for way too long. And was one of those things where I feel like I plateaued and I was really, I don't want to say I wasn't getting anywhere, but just the stuff I was involved in wasn't really reaching the caliber of the level that I knew I could be at. Um, so I had an opportunity to play bass. I kind of just went with it, ran with it, and doing that led me to meet Signs of the Swarm. We did a tour together in 22 with Fit for an Autopsy, Great American Ghost, Signs of the Swarm, and I want to say Enterprise Earth. Yeah, it was Enterprise Earth. And yeah, man, it's just one of them things where I did what I had to do just because I wanted to do this and be on the road. And yeah, once the boys and Signs hit me up to try out, I knew kind of just put all my eggs in the basket. Like I got the gig. I was like, I'm getting rid of all my basses. I'm stopping playing bass right now. Like I know I'm gonna get this gig. I know it. And yeah, I sent my video in within like 2 days of them asking me, and then pretty much the rest is history, brother. They offered me the gig full time, and like I said, we went to the studio. We filmed all the music videos for Amongst the Low and Empty Cycle within like a 3 week span or 4 week span, and then right on tour with Whitechapel. And then here we are 2.5 years later. We haven't stopped, and it was an easy transition back. I'm always meant to play guitar, and I was always meant to do this, so it just kind of worked out very naturally.
Yeah. Yeah, and as like a newer member of the band, did like touring with them previously when you were in other bands kind of help with that transition to joining the band? Like did it just feel more natural when
Oh
you joined?
yeah, very very much so. It was one of them things where there's a million better players than me out there that could have got the gig hands down, but it was one of those things where they remembered my stupid, goofy personality and just who I am as a guy. So it was cool that we had a past relationship and they know how I toured and that I wasn't completely a newbie when it came to touring. So it was one of those things that was fairly easy, I think, for them to pick and figure out. It was like, oh, we know this guy, we know him playing bass, but we heard he rips on guitar, and they asked a lot of friends. Shout out Kyle from 156 Silence. He hit up Bobby and was like, dude, you guys are looking for a guitar player. Have you like hit up Carl? And he was like, Bobby was like, oh, I had no idea. Like I totally forgot because Kyle and I did another tour when I was playing for Gag, and I was always playing my guitar that I brought on tour just in free time. So they didn't even think about me as an option because they thought I was like a real bass player. And yeah, it just kind of worked out that they remembered my goofy ass. So it it worked out very naturally that they're like, "Oh yeah, we like you. You're a cool guy. You'll definitely get the gig." And I was like, "Cool, sounds great."
One of the things that I remember from talking to David during the promo cycle for Amongst the Low and Empty was that during the recording of that album, you all blew out a subwoofer in the studio. So
Yeah.
was there anything like that that happened during the recording of To Rid Myself of Truth?
Uh, Honestly, no, man. This recording this album, like I said, because I showed up late for the first one, so I kind of missed a lot of that stuff. But for this one, yeah, there was no weird like any weird slash bad things that happened, man. Honestly, it was just we felt like we were trapped in Midland forever, man. The same shit every day, same Airbnb, same like fucking multiple meals a day. Shout out to Josh's wife. She made the most incredible cookies. So that was like a nice change up every Friday. We'd get some cookies and some good dessert. So yeah, nothing really weird on this one, man, that happened that I could really truthfully remember or say as like a funny moment. Honestly, it was a very straightforward process. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I did read that a lot of the writing was scrapped about 2 months before y'all hit the studio because Bobby wanted to, be more pissed. So what was kind of the process on like focusing that intensity and like getting to that point where the album sounded pissed off enough?
You know what, man? I think it was a lot of we had a lot of songs, you know, um, like a year ago going. We're always on tour, so I think it was one of those things where we were just so beaten up from being on the road all the time that we just kind of like listened back to our songs like after touring with multiple bands throughout the year and like just hearing the things that everybody was doing or like people on the internet were trying to do. And I think we just, I don't know, we just thought parts were, not to the fullest extent. And then we kind of just buckled down and we're like, all right, well, this isn't sick enough. What can we do to make it sicker? Oh, let's drop it down an octave. Let's make it three semitones lower. Let's put it in a weird tuning. We kind of just made it as authentic as we could. And we just had a lot of hatred for the road, I guess, and just a lot of like, fuck, we're tired, man. We're beat. What can we do how do we channel this into music? And we kind of just did it naturally, man. It just kind of worked out in a weird way. Like we didn't want to take inspiration from anybody else. We didn't want to see what was happening in the times as much right now. We just kind of ran with what we do best or what Bobby does best with, the core of writing for Signs of the Swarm. And we just ran on it. We just were unapologetically ourselves. And that was it, just hatred. That's what it's fueled by, hatred.
Yeah. I mean, like, to the point of what I was saying earlier with y'all just having like this thick groove to your all sound too. It's one of the things where you all stand out to me from a lot of other deathcore bands where, um, like I can hear it and I can be like, yeah, that's Signs of the Swarm. I can immediately know what the sound is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly awesome to hear. I feel like it's hard to have an identity when you play this kind of music. And I think a lot of it has to do with Josh Schrader, our engineer. He has a particular sound, but he does Lorna and he does a lot of huge bands in the scene. And it's one of those things where he makes us sound like us and he kind of trusts our tonal judgment, with guitars. Him and I sat down like so this the last record Bobby did all the guitar tracking for other than like the little parts that I added here and there, but this one was my first time tracking all the guitars on the record. And just a lot of my hand went through a lot on this tone, just my picking hand and my preferences and stuff like that. So it's nice to hear that we have a distinct sound, which is very cool. But it also has to do with the songwriting, I believe, as well. Just uh, Bobby being a core writer for feels like 20 years now. I know that's an exaggerated number, but from writing for the band from the beginning, it was just like you could just tell the riff that Bobby writes, and it's very cohesive throughout all of our discography. Um, so yeah,
Yeah. What do you think has been like the biggest contributor to the sound of deathcore kind of maturing overall over the last several years? Because that is something else that I've noticed just across the subgenres that there's been a little bit more willingness to experiment, but then there's also been more of a, I guess, sort of thinking outside of just like the deathcore box, like approach to musicianship, where things have become a little bit more than just like breakdowns and like guttural vocals, for lack of a better word.
yeah, I feel like being in the digital age with studio gear and guitar gear and stuff like that, like I feel like a lot of deathcore has made like the digital switch a little bit, like a lot of just more processed sounds and more like polished rather than that more raw, authentic kind of tone. Um, and then along with, I think some people just get bored of playing the same 1-0 breakdown over and over in different iterations. I know I do, but there's a time and place for it, I think. So I feel like it's in moderation when to be real deathcore and be super heavy, but it's nice to show that you can do other things besides for staying on the first four frets the whole time. You know what I mean? I feel like people just kind of want to break that stigma and be more of a musician. Um, I don't have a preference. I love the stupid, pissed off, slow breakdown all the time, but I also do enjoy a nice guitar solo, and I do enjoy weird time signatures and weird stuff. So I think that a lot of that shows in our stuff now with signatures and like solos and stuff, not just from me, but Bobby wanting to do something a little wonky and out of the box with patterns and just kind of do something not traditional. It's been done for however long deathcore goes back. You know what I mean? So it's nice to do stuff different and show the old heads like, hey, keep up.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can remember in like the early days of like when I first heard deathcore, at that point it was kind of like the subgenre that was like cool for like the older like elitist metalheads to just hate on.
Hmm. One of them things like the MySpace era of deathcore was like the absolute most goated time ever. Suicide Silence, Whitechapel, fucking All Shall Perish, like just crazy old school despised icon, like just deathcore bands that didn't fucking care about what they were doing. They just did it and they had a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean that was kind of the era where I first like became aware of it because I had a friend from high school, Julian, who I think he went on to play for like Rose Funeral and like a few other bands.
Sick.
But he like first introduced me like Whitechapel and like bands like that. And initially it didn't really like stick to me because I was like, this is just like nonstop breakdowns. But then like it kind of grew on me over the years, you know?
Yeah, it's again, it's not for everybody, I think, but if it makes you, I always say if it makes you feel, it's doing something right. You know what I mean? Music is meant to be heard, yes, but it's also made to make you feel. And I'm real big on that. If it makes you feel something, no matter what the genre is, it's doing its job. You know what I mean? If it gets your brain working, and I think it's doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah. Another thing that's always kind of stuck out to me about deathcore is that there's so many people in the subgenre who are multi-instrumentalists. Like, what do you think has kind of contributed to that being, particularly a thing among deathcore bands?
I think I don't know, maybe for myself at least, I think some people just get bored of playing one instrument and they want to just try to do something else and expand their horizon. Like I'm 30 and I feel like as I'm getting a little bit older, quote unquote, I want to do as much brain activity as I can do and not stop myself and just play one thing and only know one thing. It's nice to kind of break out of your comfort zone and kind of do something that you're not used to or something that's a little different. So I think that has a big factor. Um, just boredom, like, oh, we're off tour for a couple months. What else can I do that's proactive and music related? Oh, let me try to play bass. Let me try to play piano. Let me try to sing. I think there's a lot of contributing factors into that, but for me, that's what those are for sure. Just boredom.
Yeah. With y'all having a US tour coming up, followed by, everywhere else after that, what are you looking forward to the most? Like, I know you've got a stop here in Chicago in like October, on
Yep.
October 5th.
Honestly, man, I'm very excited to just get this new record out there. It'll be out in 20 days and then kind of give people some time to let it sit in the oven for a little bit and just get people to know the words and kind of get a vibe for what we're going for now. And yeah, I'm just stoked to go back out on the headliner with some awesome bands and some homies of ours and just kind of push this album. We're heading to Europe with Chelsea Grin again. Um, right after the headliner, pretty much we have like 2.5 weeks off, and then we go back overseas. And I'm just excited to literally take over, man. I want everybody to hear this new album and be stoked to see us and regret if they miss us. You know what I mean? Because this is definitely going to be a tour that I don't want people to miss. At least the headliner. Um, got a lot of awesome new songs we're playing. We got a lot of old songs, and let me rephrase that: not too old. I know everyone's going to get crazy if we play a certain select album or certain older songs, but yeah, I'm just stoked to get out there and play our music for people, man. It's going to be a great tour. I'm very excited for this next one.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to check out that stop at Reggie's. And is there anything that stands out to you in particular about, or actually, let me rephrase that. Is there anything on this upcoming tour as far as like places that you haven't had a chance to play yet that you're looking forward to? Because I know on the last album cycle, y'all got to go to Mexico for the first time.
Yeah, as of right now, we're playing a lot of the same areas and places we played on the headliner. When we go back to Europe with Chelsea, we're playing a couple different venues that we haven't played before, which will be really cool. And I honestly I'm just excited to go to the same places that we've gone, man, and just really see the fans that have been with us, at least since I've been in the band and further, that just genuinely care about our music and want to come out and support. We don't really have anywhere new, like I said, that we're playing anytime soon coming up. But once we do, I'll be definitely stoked on going somewhere new. But for now, it's just seeing familiar faces and just kind of doing the thing we do best, man. Just giving people balls heavy fucking deathcore music.
Yeah. Are there any places that you would consider like I guess sort of bucket list tour stops?
Oh man, I would love to play. Um, I would love to play pretty much. I'm very bad with this stuff. I would love to play anywhere we haven't played, any country. I would love to go to Japan. I've never been. The band's been years and years ago, but I would love to go to Japan. I would love to go back to Australia. Um, I'm simple with this shit, man. I want to go anywhere that will take us and are willing to have us in their country to play some deathcore, man. That's just it. I'm a pretty simple guy. I just love doing this shit so much, and I want to go everywhere that we can and take over the world.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to kind of approach all that too, because it's like anywhere that you haven't been before, like any crowd that you can get in front of that you haven't played for before is always a new opportunity to get more fans.
Exactly, man. And I think it's there's a lot of awesome bands out there that are playing similar or close to the music that we play. And it's hard to grasp people. And you see the comments like, "I've heard this before," and they're not doing anything new. But it's like, you know what? I just want people to come see us and buy our records and merch and support us because number one, it means the world, and number two, it pays the bills.
Yeah.
So it's one of them things where yeah, man, any kind of support towards us, no matter if it's liking on Facebook, Instagram, downloading our music. I love what I do and I love the people that support us, man. So if I could do this forever, I'm gonna definitely do it forever.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things that I've never understood. For example, when like a band like Guar gets booked on like the Gathering of the Juggalos or something, and then like people are
Yeah.
just like, why are they playing that fest? And it's like because every new crowd is a new opportunity for more fans.
Yep. That's kind of it. Like I feel like we haven't been thrown into any like quote unquote weird tours, but we we just love playing, man. If we have the opportunity to do something different, we're totally gonna do it just because like it's nice to get out there further than we are. So anything that we could do is great.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've been to like a few things that people would consider like weird tours, but I think that it's also I miss those kinds of like bills sometimes where it's like
Yeah,
you
mixed
get a
bills.
variety of stuff.
Yep. I think like Chaos and Carnage and Summer Slaughter tours, like those do well with mixing some not oddball bands in a bad way, but just like super deathcore, super metalcore, super weird math rocky kind of like they do good with mixing a bunch of different styles. So that's always cool, like Warp Tour, if you will, just on a show, which is awesome. Random bands, different styles. So it's cool, different status, whether they're big or small. It's nice to kind of send the genres everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's like I did Chaos and Carnage like a few months ago and I got to see like Dying Fetus, Cradle of Filth, Undeath, this goth band from Italy that I can't remember the name of now. But it was all in the same bill. It was cool.
Yeah, it's nice. It's refreshing. You don't want to hear the same breakdown band 6 bands in a row. You know what I mean? It's nice to have a little diversity and have your ear tickled in different ways where it's like not the same over and over.
Yeah. Well, I know you've got some places that you need to be. I don't want to take up too much of your afternoon. Is there anything else that you want to put out there before we wrap things up?
To Rid Myself of Truth comes out August 22nd. Make sure y'all's ears are ready for it because I don't think you are. Um, we always appreciate the love and support that everybody gives us, and I can't wait for you guys to hear this record. Come check us out on our headliner, the beginning of October around the United States. I can't believe I just fucking drew a blank on that. But thank you guys seriously for rocking with us, and yeah, we have a lot more in store, so be on the lookout.
Yeah, and thanks for taking the time out of your day today, Carl.
Hey, Roger, appreciate you, brother. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.